Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Ayleen, and this is another daily dose of medicine walk. And for those of you who are listening in on Blog Talk Radio, this is Healing House Radio. So, um, I've had people ask me if being empathic was more left brain or right brain. And actually, I think empathy falls somewhere in the middle. You see, empathy is about resonating. And the point is, it's not about whether that resonance is based on logic or whether it's based on feeling. Because, and as I've said before, I don't consider empathy exclusive to emotions. Yes, that is one of the easiest things to resonate to, but it isn't exclusive. I mean, you can resonate honestly with anything that is energy. So when you are dealing with somebody who's very emotional, and so therefore those emotions come across as an energetic experience, yes, it can be in that more creative place because empaths, like anybody else, when we lack information, we want to fill in the gaps, which is why empaths usually have a tendency to ask a lot of questions and to want to know what's going on because they've got the feeling, but they don't have the story that goes with it. And we've also talked about the fact that empathy basically is a snapshot of what someone is feeling in that moment. It doesn't mean that it's truth. It just means that it's true for them right then. So if somebody is angry in a moment for some reason, that doesn't mean they're inherently an angry person. It just means that in that moment, that's what they're feeling and that's the energy that they're giving off. Now, empaths can also be very logical, especially once they start to get the hang of what it is that they're doing. That it's like, okay, I'm resonating. This is what the emotion that's kind of coming out right now. But what are the pieces that need to be put in place to explain it? How can I assist this person? How can I help them process through whatever they're going through? And in order to do that, I need more information. So there is a very logical piece to it because at that point, from the left brain point of view, it is that empathy is a piece of the puzzle. It is a part of the solution. It's a clue, but it's not, the of all and end all. It's not completely what's going on. So, empathy really does kind of bridge between both because energy is neutral. And while, emotions certainly are not neutral, emotions, can span everything from great to really hurtful. But the energy that it produces, think of the emotion as kind of the flavor of the energy, but it is not the nature of the energy. Energy just is. And therefore, it comes from a neutral place. It's all about what stories are attached to it, how it is affecting that person, how it is affecting us. And if somebody is in just like a really great, wonderful mood and they're feeling very optimistic, and so the empath is going to feel that. That's what they're going to get from them. And so, generally stuff like that really doesn't require a whole lot of discussion. It doesn't require, wow, what is that? And what's going on there? It's just, hey, this is a happy person and they're happy and, you know, good, great. It's when the emotions go into a harder place that filling in those other gaps becomes a little more important to the empath because if you're going to feel that bad, you want to know why. If that person is feeling that bad, you want to know why. Because the empathic instinct is to attempt to restore balance. And if we can't restore balance, then it keeps us off balance. So if we can help that other person feel okay, it's like, okay, we're all good. I've always said that an unmanaged empath can only be as happy as the least happy person in any given room. So the idea that we need to be able to look at it as, first off, as we discussed yesterday, is this any of my business to invest in? Is this any of my business to interact with? Do I really want to involve myself with this? And that's a part of that logical left brain. It's like, look, I got places to be, I got things to do. I cannot stand here and invest in this. And it really, I honestly don't have anything, pro or against that will affect my direct life other than helping this person. And then if we decide to intervene, if we decide to go ahead and involve ourselves, then the creative right brain goes into, okay, now we're going into, what is the story? And that's where, we go to our right brain for the story. We go to our left brain for the facts. So in working with empathy and in working empathically with someone, it's, we kind of have to walk between both, because we're experiencing it as they're experiencing it. If they're really upset, then that's what we pick up on. But it does not mean that we can't be, still very neutral and say, okay, well, what is going on? What's the story? Well, that person hurt my feelings. And, so empathically, yes, we acknowledge that their feelings are hurt, but that doesn't mean that we can't go, okay, so what happened? What was going on here? What was the issue that, that came in, if we want to get that involved. So just being empathic. Now, sometimes if people are very strongly empathic and have a low ability to manage that, they can get sucked into the other person's story. And that story will be automatically believed because that person believes it. That's what they're radiating. That is where their energy is resonating. So, we have to be careful that we don't get sucked into one side of a story without finding out all of what's going on. And, and if you do want to jump down that rabbit hole with someone and, you want to help them and, you want to be able to help them resolve whatever it is and find some sort of balance out of the situation. If you're going to do that, then you need to be able to dial down that empathy, because empathy is only to figure out, what the connection is and making the connection. You don't need empathy to figure out what's going on. And you definitely don't need empathy to get to the truth of the matter, because all you're going to feel, that person, they will automatically feel that they're right. So that's all you're going to get empathically from them. So that's when, you need to use some of your other tools, your deductive reasoning and common sense and a little bit of healthy skepticism, and keeping in mind that what that person is saying is true for them, but that doesn't make it the truth. And that can make dealing with empaths in certain situations sort of a double-edged sword, because people, it's like, oh, well, they're empathic, so they're automatically going to side with me because they're resonating with me. Well, that's not necessarily true, because we don't lose our ability to think. We don't lose our ability to, have things either make sense or not make sense. And if something doesn't make sense, empathy is not going to override that. It doesn't take control. So keep in mind that if you are choosing to help somebody with something, if you are choosing to go into that space with them where, you're helping them resolve a problem or resolve a hurt, you don't need empathy on the whole time. Let logic take over. Let your common sense take over. Let that idea that, somewhere between one person's opinion and another person's opinion lies the truth. We don't have to lose that just because we're empathic. And we don't have to lose that just because we show sympathy. I mean, you can be very sympathetic to someone, but you just don't get sucked into their story to the point where you can no longer think critically. So, just, the best thing is to avoid those situations. If you can't avoid it, or if you don't want to avoid it, if it's somebody who means something to you, yeah, you want to help them, restore that balance. Just keep in mind that empathy is not what guides you. Empathy is not the only clue in this mystery. And it's not to be depended on, because all it's giving you is a snapshot of where that person is in that moment. So stay objective. Alrighty. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, then please leave them in the comments section. For those of you who are listening in on Blog Talk Radio, you've got your comments section. And I also encourage you to use the link in the description to visit the YouTube channel. If you like this video, please press like. And if you think that the series is cool and the channel is cool, then please consider subscribing. We're getting each day we're getting another subscriber, which is really, really cool. And it will really help out the channel. If you want to contact me, you can reach me through my Facebook group, which is Medicine Walk with Dr. Ayleen. You can follow me on Twitter, and you can also reach me through my email address, which is in the description. So again, thank you for joining me. And as always, I wish you balance and I wish you blessings from my heart to yours. Love you, and see you next time. Bye.